A millionaire asked his daughter to choose her new mother from among 5 rich women, but she ultimately chose a simple housekeeper after discovering the truth about the person who was truly caring for her. This woman shouldn't even be our girlfriend. Sasha was stunned by the other candidates as she watched Nima and Motorio clean the shards of glass from the marble floor of the Willy Chacha mansion. The incident occurred by accident as 5 high society women, competing to become the new wife of a millionaire widower, were having lunch. Nima, 28, had only been working at the Atlanta mansion for 3 months. But she had already completely changed the life of Taya, a 7-year-old girl who had lost her mother in a car accident the previous year. What the candidates didn't know was that every harsh word, every disdainful look, every attempt at rationalization was being scrutinized by someone who held more secrets than they could imagine. "Oh father, why are these women so nice to you?" Taya asked. That morning, hidden behind the office door, his daughter's questions struck the businessman who was watching through the security cameras. Nima was auditioning, and 5 candidates had arrived weeks ago to participate in his competition. The idea came to him from his psychologist: let her live with different women for a month, then choose the one she would like to be her new mother. Willie had carefully selected 5 high society women, a lawyer, a doctor, businesswomen, socialites, and an architect. All rich, all perfect on paper. But from the first day, a terrible event occurred. 5 women, led by the wicked Satchery, heiress to an oil fortune, declared war on Nima. Not because she was a threat, after all, she was simply a cleaning lady, but because Taya clearly preferred spending time with Nima rather than with any other candidate. "This young girl must learn about social class in advance," said Sarah Tattoo, a lawyer, during the dinner where she appeared to be participating alone. "It is important for her to know which people are suitable for her social class." What they didn't know was that Willie hadn't installed a speaker in the house after noticing the strange changes in Taya's behavior. The little girl who had finally started laughing again began having nightmares and panic attacks. Nima, a graduate in education but working as a housekeeper to help her sick mother, never would have imagined that her natural kindness toward Taya could generate such aggression. Every morning, while preparing her breakfast, she heard negative comments about people who didn't know their place and the bad influence they had on children from good families. But none of the 5 candidates saw in Nima's eyes something that matched the determination forged by years of discrimination. And when she crossed her arms in the face of insults, it was not acceptance. It was a clever strategy from someone who was taught that the best revenge comes to those who know how to wait for the right moment. If you liked this story about how prejudice can turn a person against their will, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Because these women know that their day of reckoning is coming, and the consequences are more serious than they could have imagined. The next morning, Sasha gathered the other candidates in the private library of the palace, far from the eyes and ears that seemed to be watching. Their plans were sinister and carefully planned. "There's no reason to worry about the truth," Sasha said, adjusting her diamond earrings while watching Nima through the window, playing hopscotch and dancing in the garden. "This woman is harming a child in a way that is inadequate for our social class." Sarah Tattoo, a business lawyer, opened her address book to the Italian government and examined legal procedures. "Willie can dismiss an employee for cultural incompatibility without professional problem." "Cultural incompatibility is a nice word," laughed Anna Chess, a prominent doctor who accompanies the wealthy people of Atlanta. "The problem is more serious than that." Samia Tonia, an interior designer who designed the homes of 3 presidents, shook her head with disdain. "Taya must know in advance what kind of relationship to have. Approaching such support creates unrealistic expectations for social relationships." Elisa Cho, heiress to a luxury hotel chain, was more direct. "Try to turn our thumbs. The problem is that the poor cleaning lady is taking away the feeling that should have been ours. Taya should have stayed with one of us, not with her." What none of them knew was that Nima was listening to their conversations, the daughter of a cleaning lady who had worked for a rich family for 30 years. She knew every secret word, every elegant phrase, every strategy the upper class used to demonstrate their brutality. At 18, Nima had seen her mother fired after 20 years of loyal service, simply because a worker's child had gotten too close to her. The hidden reproach of not knowing her place resonated in the whole of the Calaz building. And now, 18 years later, her struggles returned to Atlanta. But these women sensed something behind Nima's apparent humility. Her studies at the University of Atlanta were not just a degree. It was a declaration of chemistry against the king who was trying to break her family. During the 3 years she spent teaching in college before being forced to do housekeeping to help her mother with her cancer, Nima had never learned to understand a person with such attention. She knew exactly when she was being underestimated. And more importantly, she knew how to take advantage of the situation. "Don't be shy, my love," Sasha had said that afternoon, hugging the girl as she tried to take refuge in the kitchen. "Come, we're going to play a little mind game. I brought a chess set from France especially for you." "You don't know how to play chess?" Taya replied, trying to continue on her way. "That's exactly why you need to learn," Sarah Tattoo insisted, gently preventing her from leaving the room. "Mind games are important for the development of the upper-class mind." "Nima taught me how to play chess when I was young," Taya said, which created tension. "Games help you think clearly, whatever the games." Anna Chess changed her perspective and the way she saw things. "My dear, there are differences between sports. Some are more suitable for certain people." Then Nima appeared at the kitchen door carrying a plate of still warm cookies. She had heard everything, but her face was calm, almost maternal. "Excuse me for interrupting," she said with almost perfect politeness. "Taya, your chocolate chip cookies are ready." The girl's eyes immediately lit up. "Nima, did you make the butterfly-shaped cookies?" "As promised. I made a little extra and saved some for later, when you have dinner." Sasha watched this structure with growing anger. The love of her instincts was undeniable and made her job even more urgent. "Nima," Sasha said, trying to pronounce the housekeeper's name for the first time, but pronouncing it aloud like a foreign and unpleasant word, "you seem to be taking on a very large responsibility for Taya." "We are here to ensure her development." Nima smiled respectfully, but something shone in her dark eyes. "Indeed, Madam Sasha. I was simply following the initial instructions to ensure Taya eats and enjoys her food. That's all." "That's perfectly natural," Elisa Cho said, joining the conversation. "But feeding is different from creating an essential connection. It would be better to maintain a reasonable distance in communication." "I understand perfectly," Nima replied in a soft but dangerous voice. "I was always taught that caring for children means giving them exactly what they need when they need it." This very polite, diplomatic response put the 5 women at ease. Nima's calm betrayed a sharper mind than they thought. That evening, Willie calmly watched through the camera as the candidates prepared their next moves. They decided to record Nima's every mistake, creating a file on her inappropriate behavior. But Willie discovered something completely different from what he thought he was recording. Every video presented Nima as a caring, sincere professional taking care of Taya. Conversely, it showed 5 adult women dissatisfied with the natural love between a child and the person caring for him. But his recordings revealed something more. Willie began to perceive the candidates' behavior as a series of small, destructive actions. The comments he was supposed to mitigate came from Taya's minimoys, interpreted by Nima. Their attempt succeeded in creating a situation where she seemed incapable of working properly. "Papa," Taya asked that evening at dinner, "why don't these women like Nima?" The question had the effect of a time bomb. 5 candidates grabbed their spoons. "What a question is that, my dear?" Sasha asked, trying to smile like a mother. "We all love the workers." "That's not true," Taya replied, making the children laugh. "I hear you say she doesn't know her place." Willie felt his blood boil. "Taya, where did you hear that?" "Them, in the library this morning. They were talking about getting Nima to leave." The resulting chaos was terrifying. 5 women accused of lying found themselves trapped because a 7-year-old child had accurately revealed their plot to an experienced detective. "Taya, you must have misunderstood Sarah Tattoo," she quickly said. "Adult conversations sometimes sound different to children's ears." But Willie looked at the faces around the table, and each one confirmed that Taya was not intoxicated. Worse still, she was beginning to understand that his daughter was not the only one who had lost her valuables in this house. Each new revelation, each attempt to put Nima down, nourished something in her that he perceived as fierce, a cunning force fueled by the violence they tried to impose on her. Forged over years of oppression, this force had begun long before she set foot in the palace, and it was now taking on undeniable magnitude in a man who knew that the best revenge is to let his enemies destroy themselves through their arrogance. Thursday morning, Nima woke up 2 hours earlier than usual and called her sister Marie Kubo in Washington. The conversation took place in a low voice in the small room she occupied in the building's annex. "Marie, I need you to do something for me." Nima looked out the window as the building lights went out. Remember those people you met when you worked in the Department of Education? Marie, a graduate of Howard University specializing in investigative journalism, currently works as a television journalist. She immediately sensed the tension in her sister's voice. Oh dear, what's wrong? Come on, I'll call you right back. I'm being attacked by 5 rich women who want to get me out of here, and I need a weapon to protect myself. For the next 20 minutes, Nima carefully described every analysis, every comment revealing her social anxiety, every attempt at sabotage. Marie listened carefully, her journalistic experience suddenly revealing patterns of discrimination she hadn't explored in years. Nima, are you sure you want to go to war? These women have the resources and connections. Marie, our mother worked 30 years, humiliated by people like that. I won't let her story be evoked, not when I'm the one protecting her. Taya's knowledge allowed Marie to understand the seriousness of the situation. She knew that her sister had not developed the mother-child relationship that had naturally developed after years of working with traumatized children in old schools. Okay, Marie said, give me all the names, and in 48 hours, I will investigate everything you need to know. Meanwhile, Willie continued his investigation relentlessly. He had secretly hired a private detective, Ezra Toby, an expert in social studies of high society. Examining his 5 candidates, he made surprising discoveries. Sacheri had been fired from 2 charities for financial irregularities that had ruined her family. Sarah Tattoo had already been sued for harassment and racial discrimination by employees. Anna Chess had lost her right to practice medicine in 2 states before settling in Georgia. Samia Tonia had been under investigation by the tax authorities for tax fraud, and Elisa Cho had been accused by 3 former employees of her hotel chain of creating a hostile work environment based on racial discrimination. Mr. Willie, Ezra Toby said during a secure phone call, these women are not racist. They are systemic beings who exploit their social position to destroy humble people. Meanwhile, in the hall, 5 candidates intensified their attacks against the magnate. Sasha had developed precise plans to create a situation where Nima would appear incapable or unfit. We must document every mistake, every time she transgresses language boundaries, Sasha explained during the morning meeting in the living room. Willie is a wise man. With enough evidence, he will be forced to resign. Sarah opened her computer and downloaded the document. She wrote a detailed behavioral report, accusing her of disturbing family harmony, exhibitionism, and attempted psychological violence toward her superior. I lied, but you proved it well, she added, questioning the legality of the document. It's my medical basis, and it could raise concerns about the psychological consequences for the child. Samia and Elisa exchanged satisfied smiles. They were convinced that they had provoked a total destruction of the school system, a system that an incompetent cleaner, without resources or formal education, could not resist. But they did not know that the school system had perfectly anticipated this strategy. During her years of teaching in the public sector, she had met principals and coordinators who used similar tactics to eliminate teachers who did not fit the institutional culture. That afternoon, while secretly cleaning Willie's office, Nima saw an application report left open in the printer. She quickly interpreted every accusation, every subtle distortion of her interaction with Taya, every attempt to change her stepfamily's love for her into something unusual or suspicious. Instead of fearing or despairing, Nima felt a chilling calm take over. It was the same calm she developed at 18 when she saw her mother fired due to her emotional closeness to the children she had lost. That evening, after going to bed, Nima made another important call to her former supervisor at the University of Atlanta, Professor Julia Hell, an expert in child development and separation anxiety. Professor Hell, I need your help documenting the emotional state of a child in a very delicate situation. Dr. Hell, who had advised Nima on her thesis on the link between correctional care and runaway children, immediately understood the seriousness of the request. Nima, you want me to perform an independent psychological evaluation. And this requirement must be formulated in an incontestable manner before a court or legal proceeding. During the 40-minute conversation that followed, Nima described not a plan of self-defense, but an offensive strategy using linguistic skills that her aggressors thought she did not possess. The next day, Willie watched through the camera as the candidates committed their most brutal attempts at destruction. They hid Taya's beloved teddy bear, a gift from her late mother, when they discovered the toy in the closet. Oh, my dear Taya, we found your teddy bear, Sasha announced with a smile, taking the toy out of the closet as Taya burst into tears. It was in the staff room. The little girl looked at Nima with surprise and pain. "Oh Nima, why did you take my teddy bear?" "Don't take it, my love," Nima replied calmly. But Willie could read the pain in her eyes through the camera. "Someone must have put it there by accident." "That brings bad luck," Sarah said, feigning disbelief. "Taya, did you put your teddy bear in the staff room?" "No," Taya whispered, tears in her eyes. "I always put it in my bed." Anna Chess approached and sat down at the child's height. "Oh dear. Sometimes people, different people, take what doesn't belong to them. Not necessarily out of envy, but out of desire, they want to see beautiful things." Then Willie saw something strange. Instead of fiercely defending herself or insisting on her innocence, Nima consoled Taya and whispered, "My love, you know deep down that I would never take anything from you, and those who truly love you will not try to disrupt your charm." The cautious wisdom and unwavering respect of the response matched the intensity and planned brutality of the 5 women. Willie understood that he was witnessing not only racial discrimination, but also a systematic attempt to psychologically destroy his employee and his daughter. That evening, as the candidates secretly celebrated what they considered their final victory, Nima received a call from Marie that completely changed the game. "Sister, you won't believe what I discovered about your friends here. The best accounts are at risk. They are more vulnerable than they are worthy." Around the house, Willie made the decision that would seal the fate of 5 women. He had seen enough, gathered enough evidence, and reached a conclusion that made him angry and determined. It was time to stop watching the clock and take action. But to begin, he had to have a very difficult conversation with the woman who had been most wronged. Nima, who would discover that she had allies and resources more powerful than any of her aggressors could have imagined. Each new blow did not weaken Nima's determination but revealed a character that transformed each attack into fuel for a careful and devastating counterattack, proving that sometimes the one who seems weak is the one who holds the most dangerous weapons in a battle that their enemies didn't know they were losing. The following Friday, he convened an extraordinary meeting. He secretly invited a doctor and asked for money from Tsen and Inspector Ezra Toby. 5 candidates arrived, hoping to finally find the judge who would be chosen. "Ladies, before announcing my decision, I would like to share a fascinating discovery with you," he said, turning off the screen. Sasha smiled confidently. "Of course, too. We can't wait to hear them." The first image that appeared was a news article about the distribution of charity feathers. Sasha's photo appeared on the news feed. "That's a lie," Sasha screamed, her face pale. "Oh really?" Marie asked, standing up. "I'm Marie Khan. I agree with this report word for word." Willie clicked on the next slide. Sarah Tattoo seemed to be accused of racial discrimination against 3 black employees. "That's not right," Sarah anxiously tried to say. "It is true," Ezra Toby interrupted her. "I'm a private detective. All these documents are confidential and verified." The following images destroyed Anna, Samia, and Elisa one after the other, cases of medical misconduct, tax fraud, and a hostile work environment. "You are a beast of burden," he said coldly. "And I recorded every one of your attacks against Nima." He played the disc. The voices of 5 women spread through the room, racist comments, plans for destruction, the plan to remove the teddy bear. "That's an invasion of privacy," Sasha cried. "Go to my house," Willie laughed angrily. "You conspired to destroy an innocent person." Dr. Hell approached. "As a child development specialist, I examined the baby this week. The child has a good relationship with Nima, which is important for her development after the shock." Her development after the shock. Taya, who had been brought into the room, ran straight to Nima. "Oh Nima, you're not leaving, are you?" "No my love," Nima said calmly, stroking the girl. Willie looked the 5 women straight in the eye. Nima Tario is a graduate in education from the University of Atlanta with 3 specializations in child development and excellent references. The man was just a cleaning agent because he was rich. He has now tried his last card. "Oh, you're making a big mistake. Thinking about the social context, the future will end." "And I believe," Billy interrupted. "And Nima, will you marry me?" The pain was terrifying. Nima looked at Taya, then at the man. "Oh, I will." Taya cried with joy. "Oh, now Nima will be my real mother." The 5 candidates were in shock. Now, he was like a piece of paper. "Oh, that's impossible," he murmured. "Oh, you're going to have a cleaner." "And I'm trying to be the most honest woman I know," he replied. "And this woman treated my daughter with love. When did you plan to destroy her with blatant discrimination?" Marie filmed everything. This report will air on Monday. Women who still ignore racial stereotypes are exposed to the fall of these social animals. Their reputation, their jobs, and their friends have been destroyed, as Ratobi added. All the written documents were sensible. Sacheri tried to leave, but they stopped her. "Oh, one last thing, I will support all this conspiracy, this scandal, and this attempt to destroy my character. My masters were already at work." The 5 women left the building disgusted, allowing themselves to be photographed by the journalists invited by Marie. Their cell phones rang with furious calls from clients, friends, and family members who had seen the news spread on social media. Nima Tario stood, respectful and calm, holding Taya in her arms. "Thank you for your trust," she said to Willie. "Thank you for your kindness and attention," Willie replied, gently kissing her. As the former members faced the collapse of their comfortable lives, a new family was born. It was founded on true love, mutual respect, and the ultimate triumph of honor over prejudice. She proved that sometimes the best revenge is to live well while those who try to destroy you see the faces of the liars deteriorate, revealing to the whole world what they really were behind the false glory of lies. 2 years later, Marie's article served as a lesson in journalism schools on discrimination. 5 women suffered devastating and lasting consequences. Sacheri lost her family inheritance after the board of directors discovered her theft of a charity feather. Today, she works as a salesperson in a boutique and is often recognized by customers who have grown up seeing this story. Sarah Tattoo resigned from her law firm, and her license was suspended. Samia Tonia went bankrupt after losing all her architect clients. Anna Chess moved to another state after her practice opened. Elisa Cho sold her hotels to pay her work accident compensation. Meanwhile, Nima succeeded in a unique way. Willie insisted on her master's degree in special education, and today she runs an organization that provides loans to disadvantaged children so they can study music and the arts. "Mama, look what I found on the piano today," Taya cried out, running home after school. At 9, she already mastered 3 musical instruments and spoke fluent Portuguese after lessons with her grandmother Nima, who lived at home. The family had grown. David Jr., 6 months old, slept peacefully in Nima's arms while she sorted the organization's papers. "My dear, another thank you letter," Willie said, handing it to her. "Here is a statement from a mother whose son was recognized for learning the violin." Nima smiled, remembering her conversation with Taya the previous week. The young girl had asked her why those nasty girls had tried to send her away. "Darling, some people are born with everything and pretend to be better than others. But do you know the secret?" Emma had replied, "Such people always destroy themselves, because kindness and cruelty cannot coexist in the same heart." During an interview on the country's most watched morning show, Willie was asked about his controversial decision to become a benefactor. He laughed. "She is a married woman. She was educated. She raised my daughter in sadness and showed me the true meaning of family. If that's a problem, then it doesn't come from me." The presenter continued to ask, "But what about social differences? What is the difference?" Willie replied, looking at the camera. "My wife has a master's degree, runs an organization that has helped thousands of children, speaks 3 languages, and raises my children with more love and wisdom than any woman in her life could have dreamed of." Nima watched from home, Taya in her arms, smiling proudly at the man she had chosen to love as he was. At Taya's school, the other students often asked her about her famous mother. She proudly replied, "The bravest woman in the world. She also makes the best chocolate cake." Nima's true revenge was not to destroy her aggressors. She wanted to live so well that her happiness was tangible proof that people like Sasha were completely wrong about human dignity. Friday morning, watching Willie play with his children in the garden, a place she had never visited before, Nima wondered how much her life had changed. Not only had she won, but she had transformed her victory into something greater than herself. "My love," Willie called from the garden, "come here. Taya wants to show you the song she wrote for you." Nima joined the family she had founded, knowing that sometimes the greatest revenge against discrimination is not to respond with anger, but to respond with love and success to the point of disrupting the rules of the game. This story of Nimatario, Taya, and Willie Cha-Cha is not only a story of true victory over discrimination, but also a life lesson for each of us. It teaches us that there is no true treasure in life comparable to kindness, respect, and true love. Even when the world seems to oppress you, when others try to show you that you are worthless, when God looks at you, He knows who you truly are. Nima's success is not due to chance, but to her determination, her wisdom, and her faith in God. She continued to do good despite the discrimination, the mockery, and the tricks of the highest spheres of society. She decided that true strength does not lie in hatred or revenge toward her followers, but in a life of honor, love, and resilience. This teaches us that the best revenge is to live well, and showing your own success and happiness is an undeniable testament to your worth. This story also teaches us the importance of appreciating hard work, respecting others, and looking beyond. Often, when we discover the true value of a person, it does not lie in their possessions or their external qualities, but in their love, their loyalty, and their dedication. This is an important lesson for each of us. Let us not be disturbed by preconceived ideas or social stereotypes. Your chances and your value do not depend on your external appearance, but on your inner unity and wisdom. This story teaches us that God is our guide. No danger, no trickery, and no threat has a hold on our security. It is only by remaining firm and confident in God that we will overcome trials and benefit from His goodness and blessings. The strength to overcome trials, to change things, and to bring about great changes in the world is within us, under the gaze of God. Each experience of oppression that turned into grace helped her gain inner strength, wisdom, and unique courage. This teaches us that life's trials are not an end in themselves but the foundation of our growth. Faced with oppression, discrimination, or any other challenge, remember that love, faith, and perseverance provide true strength, regardless of the hatred or jealousy of others. In fact, this story is also an example of respect, love, and family loyalty. Every family can overcome trials if its members unite with wisdom, respect, and true love. This is a lesson for everyone. Don't be afraid to show love. Don't be afraid to be patriotic and supportive. And always believe that God has a plan for each of us. So, each of us watches this story and reflects on these questions. Am I showing kindness, respect, and perseverance, even in the face of adversity? Do I believe that God will guide me through my trials? For those of you who are watching us, we would love to have you join us. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Don't hesitate to comment, specify your position, and what you learned from this story. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to discover other